Do you mind just clapping once? Perfect, thank you. Okay, whenever you're ready.
All right, Jelena, it's always good to see you. Let's start talking about women's tennis this year. For the first 18 tournaments, there was 18 different winners. So just talk about how open women's tennis is in 2019.
Yeah, I think everything can change quite quickly because I think the level is pretty good now, and maybe 10-15 girls, they can play almost on the same level, and each of them can beat each other, which makes tennis nowadays very competitive. I think sometimes you have even more motivation because you understand that you also have a chance to be there, and you understand that you're not playing worse than the other girls, and that you can play on the same level, and you also, as I said, you can have a chance to be there as well.
When you look at it, how many players do you think can win Roland Garros?
Actually, it's a good question, but not everyone can play on clay, and not everyone knows how to play on clay, because I think clay is a little bit different surface, and you kind of have to know how to play on it. Also, if you slide, if you use it as advantage, which I really love to do on clay. I love sliding, and I can also use the power from that. Maybe like 5 players.
Five players?
Maybe, yeah.
Wow, okay. And you're one of the very few people that know how to answer this question. What does it take to win Roland Garros?
Oh, of course, it's great to win such a big tournament, but after everything changed and all my life changed, like the first thing when I came back home, I landed in the plane, and then I saw a red carpet from the plane, and when I saw it, I asked the crew, can I stay in the plane? Can I not go out? Because I felt so much pressure that moment. I felt so nervous because nobody ever met me with the red carpets from the plane, and all the people came in the airport. They were waiting for me, my fans, and it was great, of course, but I think I didn't realize straight away what I did, that I won such a big tournament. And it took me some time to deal with the pressure because it was very hard, because almost every player played against you. They wanted to beat you. That's why you had to prepare very well for every match.
Dmitry Tursunov told me yesterday the worst thing that can happen to a young tennis player is to win a big tournament because it's too much too soon. Can you sympathise with what he's saying? You won the biggest tournament possible at a young age. How was that good and how was that bad?
I think, of course, it's good for your motivation because you won it once already, and you understand that you have a possibility to win it again because you have already done it. But on the other hand, it's probably bad because you are not ready for it. Like me, I came without any expectations. I was not even seeded player there, and then all this came to me, and I started to be more popular, more attention from everybody. Everybody expected much more from me. So all together, and I mean, it was so much pressure. I felt so much pressure.
How do you feel now?
I think for now, I had already enough pressure. Now I'm just, I think it's gone already, but I was injured at the beginning of the last season, so at the end of last season, and I couldn't do my preseason properly because of injury, so I was about 3 months off. And but I think I'm getting back in form slowly.
Can you describe how pressure feels? Like McEnroe told me when it's pressure, so the legs are like this and there's butterflies in the stomach. What does pressure feel like?
It's like when you are on the court, when you want to run to the ball, but your legs are completely stuck on the same place, and you understand that you want to run, but you cannot because you are stuck on the same, almost you glued to the place where you stand. And that your legs weigh 200 kilos or something. So, and also this sometimes fear inside, when you understand that when you go on the court, when you play and you're favorite in the most matches, and you understand that you kind of have to win because people expect you to win, and then you get this feeling all together. Also, your hands sometimes become very slow. You can serve very fast, but then the serve is just not going over the net or something because your hands are not moving.
And your natural game is to go for it, to go for the lines and to go for a lot of power and everything. So how does pressure then affect your approach to the game?
I think a lot, of course, after French Open, and sometimes when I had to go for the ball, I didn't go for it. I was just trying to put it in the court, which was a big mistake, because if I want to just put it in the court, my opponent has all the chances to win the point. But if I go for it, if I play well and if I feel well, then it's very hard to keep my pace, because the ball is very heavy. So for me, of course, it's more useful to just go for the ball, because for the opponent it will be much more difficult.
And you're quite an expressive person on court. You show a lot of frustration. Off court, you're laughing a lot. You're friendly off the camera and everything. Just talk about being an emotional person and an emotional player.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very emotional. Also in life, sometimes if something happens, I can be very emotional, but also in a good way. I have a lot of energy. I'm very active. I can make some funny jokes, and I'm very positive person in life. But on court, I can become very negative sometimes, because if things don't go my way, I become very kind of angry on myself, and also I can start showing some negative emotions, which are not good for me. But also sometimes you understand that if you keep all the emotions inside, it's also not going to work for you, because at some point you're going to just crash. So I'm working on myself and just trying to find the neutral, or how you say?
Neutral. The neutral feel.
The neutral for me, that it will work, that it's not that I don't show any emotions at all, but it's not like when I'm too negative. It's not working for me as well.
Okay, last couple of questions. You said that you tell a lot of jokes. What's the best joke you can tell me?
I don't know. I think in English it doesn't sound that funny as in probably my language, but it just depends on the situation. I can make some, if I'm with my friends and we're talking about something, then I can make some funny joke to the topic we're talking.
Okay, so it's not like a stand-up comedy. It's more like an observational.
It's just
it's like Woody
make
Allen.
Some funny joke.
Tell me about Roland Garros last year. It was difficult for you.
Oh, of course. Yeah, last year was not the best Roland Garros for me, and when I came there, I had to do so many things, for the tournament and the press and the draw. So a lot of things. Of course, it was very nice experience, but on the other side, I think I gave so much energy to all that, and then when I had to play, I felt so much pressure, because I wanted to play on my first match was on Philippe Chatrier on a huge court, and almost everybody was supporting me, and I felt so much pressure, and I lost that match. And then I played also doubles. I lost doubles, but my doubles partner was a really great player, Jelena Ostapenko. And then I also played mixed doubles, and I got sick before mixed doubles. And so all trip to Paris last year was not really good. Everything together, just lost first round singles, doubles, and mixed doubles. Having great partners in doubles and mixed doubles.
What was the saddest moment of all of that?
When I had probably to leave Paris, I felt so bad leaving Paris that way, because I have such a great memories from there. Not only winning Roland Garros, I also won some kids tournament there. I think was under 12 in TCBB club. Also, I played some club matches there, so I have great memories from Paris, and I always love spending time there. So it was very sad for me to leave the tournament that early and losing all 3 events first round.
So how are you approaching Roland Garros this year? 2 years ago you won the tournament. Last year you went out in round 1. What is your approach this year?
Just go to the tournament and try to enjoy every moment. Try to remember all the positive things from there, and try to remember that I won it and how amazing I felt, and just enjoy it, because it's a great city and it's just great to be there.
Okay, last question. You say try to enjoy it, try to remember the great moments. What great moments do you try to remember when you're in a bad situation, and what does that moment mean to you?
Probably lifting such a trophy like Roland Garros. That's what athletes work for, like tennis players, and it's just amazing when the full stadium is when we're playing in front of a full stadium, 15,000 people are watching you, and the crowd was very loud and very, I mean, it's a great feeling. I love to play on huge courts, and because as I know some players, they feel a little bit nervous playing on a big courts, but for me, I just love it, and I'm like playing so well on the big courts, and I kind of feel the connection a little bit with the crowd, so I know how to deal sometimes with it. And yeah, that's what we're working for, and just try to remember all the moments when I played on the big courts, and try to take all the positive things from there.
Magnificent. I could talk for another 2 hours, Jelena. It's very good. No, really, I really enjoyed.
Yeah.